Schlossberg, Managing Director at BK Asset Management.
BK Asset Management's Kathy Lien.
Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Kathy. Hello, say good morning if you hear my voice. Say good morning to me, wave, say yes, everything is working. I want to make sure I've got a new microphone this morning. Oh, thank you so much, Park. Loud and clear. I hope this microphone is a lot better. It's a lot fancier than my other one. So hopefully it sounds like everyone is seeing me, hearing me. Wonderful. Hold on one second. Let me just raise my chair. Okay, I think we are good to go. All right. I hope everyone had a very, very nice July 4th weekend. It, was hot here in New York, so I went to the beach with my kids, and it was a really, really good time. All right, wonderful. Everyone is getting started. Okay, before we begin, I always like to get a sense of who's new here. If you are new, give me a thumbs up and let me know that this is your first time. Thank you so much, Moon. Another Moon. Yeah, I've upgraded my microphone because my old one was just a little too tinny, and I use it so often that I, definitely need an upgrade. Good night or good evening, John. Good morning, John Doletsky. So any first timers here with us this morning, or everyone here is, has been here before? Wonderful, Subaru Mohammed. Okay, seems like everyone here is a seasoned pro. All right. Okay, so what are you all trading? Are you trading Forex? Are you trading gold? Are you trading NASDAQ? Let me know what you are trading so we can kick off and make sure we cover the instruments that you are trading. What's really interesting about today's price action or the price action this week is that we're finally seeing a peak in a lot of the moves of the currencies and a quote unquote bottom in the US dollar. And that's something that I definitely want to talk about. I released my heat map yesterday, not even last night, yesterday in the morning before the markets opened. And I was already, if you look at my heat map, I'll share it with you. Give me 1 second. I'm going to share with you my heat map. And on Sunday morning, before the markets opened, I was already looking for tops in the euro, British pound, Australian dollars, and I was neutral dollars, and I'll talk about it a little bit, but for the most part, I was looking for the turn that began last week to accelerate. And if you joined me last Monday, we kind of laid the groundwork for how the dollar was going to recover last week. And I think that that could very much continue this week. And we'll talk about that. But if you're a BK member, you got this fundamental heat map Sunday morning before the markets open. You were prepared for the drop and the pullbacks that we saw in euro, pound, Aussie this morning. But even if you aren't a BK member, we'll talk about it today. You missed the big move, but we'll still talk about what is in store for the coming week. Now, even though you're looking at a Forex focus heat map, everything starts with the US dollar. And many of you are here with me today because you trade gold, because you trade NASDAQ, and you know that the dollar and US dollar flows kind of drives everything. And that is very, very true, where we do have a general broad-based US dollar rally today. Now, there are two reasons why the dollar is trading stronger today, but really just one reason that is the main focus this week. I want to make sure you're paying attention. Take a wild guess. Let me know what is the focus of the markets this week. This is a pop quiz. I want to make sure that you're paying attention. And if you have no idea, that's okay too. Take a wild guess. I know another mutant is usually right on the ball with this. So, chime in. What's the number one thing? See, my friend here, the first one to type, the VIP of the day. So yes, absolutely. And I wouldn't necessarily call it tariff terror, Kathy, because the US dollar is trading higher against all of the major currencies. And if you have joined me before, I have said often that usually, even though people think tariffs are supposed to be good for the US because the US will be bringing in more money and it'll be hurting everyone else, negative tariff headlines or any setbacks on tariffs is usually seen as bearish for the dollar. Progress, hope that tariffs may not be so bad is usually seen as positive for the dollar. So right now, the US is out there making trade deals. Trade deals have been announced, and with Vietnam, with China, and more countries are in deep negotiations. The UK, the Eurozone, EU said that they're focusing on this July 9th deadline, and they're aiming for a trade agreement to be reached then. So the market really is in trade deal mode, and they think a trade deal is going to happen. But there's also a new date being floated around. Andrew, also one of our regular VIPs. The new date being floated around is August 1st. What is this August 1st date? Well, basically, and if I believe it should just be front and center on, some of the major news sites, like CNBC.com. So the main headlines: S&P 500 futures. I'm not going to click on anything, but hold on, I'm going to say click on continue without supporting. S&P 500 futures fall as Besant says several trade announcements are ahead. And Treasury yields plus the US dollar firm because Trump extended the tariff deadline. What is this extension? So even if these trade agreements are happening, and July 9th is the deadline for the trade agreements, they're not supposed to go in effect until August 1st. So now there's a lot more time. There's time between now and then to reach these trade agreements on August 1st. So they said they believe that even if we don't get, all of the deals happening on Wednesday, that there's another month or so, or a little less than a month, before we really, get those trade tariffs beginning. And as a result, the market is seeing this as positive dollar. So the dollar is, if you look at my heat map on the right-hand side, the dollar's up against the euro, Swiss franc, dollar, yen, Canadian dollar. If we pull up the dollar index, you'll see the dollar index is basically trading. Let me do my daily chart. Bottom index is basically bottoming out. Higher highs, higher lows. We were looking for a bottom last week. I think we'll continue to see a bottom this week because the trade deals and the kind of kicking the can down the road from July 9th to August 1st is seen as positive for the dollar. So in terms of the greenback, we've got the tariffs. We've got the good non-farm payrolls report that we had on Friday. That number was very strong. I mean, it blew out everyone's expectations. If we look at the number on July 3rd, you will see we live traded with you. How many of you joined our live trading session on Friday? It was such a great trading session. So many of the attendees made money, and we made money very quickly, following our, trading rules. Of course, we're not live trading this week. There's no big events to live trade, but make sure you join the next one because it's really powerful. But what I want to say is that non-farm payrolls, 147,000 non-farm payroll growth. Unemployment rate improved. Average hourly earnings growth slowed, but we also have an upward revision the previous month. So these numbers basically guarantees the Fed is not going to cut interest rates this month in July, even though there are like one or two Fed members that say that maybe they will. So the market is not looking for a Fed rate cut at the end of July. They think it may happen in September. The main focus this week for the US dollar is the Fed minutes. And with the Fed minutes, the market is not looking for the minutes to really reveal anything new. But if anything, I think it's going to reinforce their reluctance to cut interest rates. And so that is why between the tariff announcements, between the tariff trade deal announcement. So I think it'll be less about, the tariffs getting worse, more about trade deals being reached, although you never know. We've got to be prepared for it all. And so, especially when it comes to Trump and how, we can always get a left field headline. You have to be prepared for the talks not going well, Trump coming out and saying he's not happy with the negotiations, and certain countries may not have it good. So even though I think, most likely we'll get some positive trade headlines, most likely we'll get a dollar recovery this week between the data, the FOMC minutes, the trade deals. You could always have to be prepared for a left field announcement and any surprise on there. But I do think the dollar will continue to rally. I do think we have seen a top in a near-term peak in the euro, in the pound, a lot of the major currencies. Euro in particular looks like it has no support until 116. And, all of the important data from the Eurozone that was supposed to be released pretty much has been released already this morning. This morning, we had the German industrial production numbers. They came in stronger. Eurozone retail sales numbers, they came in stronger, neither of which helped the dollar at all. Helped euro at all. So if the good data did not help the euro, there's nothing else that's going to really help the euro this week. So it'll all be about trade deals, and most likely it's going to be about further dollar recovery. Lower highs, lower lows. Definitely looks like to me that we're going to see more weakness in the euro dollar. If I look at my zip charts, I can tell you that we're already in the sell zone in the euro dollar right on Sunday coming out of the gate. Zip sell signal in the euro dollar. This is a white candle with a red background. That's a zip sell signal at the Asia Open, and boom. And actually what I love about it, it's actually a triple zip sell signal. 1, 2, 3, although it's really 2 because you can't really count Fridays. But anyway, Asia Open, we had a zip sell signal in the euro dollar, very, very strong move lower. And if you're interested in learning about, how my zip strategy works, make sure you join our free trading community. Boris is going to drop you the link. It's to the free trading community, completely free. Put your name, email, let me in. It's going to reload a page that says you'll have to wait for the email to give access. But when you join the free trading community, I'll show you exactly where you can learn about the zip trading strategy. This is the free trading community, and you can learn more about the zip trading strategy under Learning, FOREX Starter course. And this is a free trading course. That and the day trading course are both free. Learn the zip strategy. Zip strategy, what my targets and goals are, best and worst times to trade zip. White candle, exactly what the white candle is, how to trade it, everything that you need to know. But we are in the sell zone in euro dollar. We are in the buy zone. Look at this, zip buy signal in dollar yen. We're in the buy zone for dollar yen. And so the market is definitely turning to a positive dollar environment. And we're seeing from multiple perspectives a bottom in the US dollar. Now, while we don't expect anything interest rate wise from the US, we do have 2 rate decisions this week: the Reserve Bank of Australia and the Reserve Bank of New Zealand. And so in many ways, this is going to be just as important as the US economic releases. And the RBA is expected to cut interest rates, the RBNZ not. Now, the Australian dollar has already weakened. I'm going to go back to my daily chart, if you'll bear with me, ahead of the RBA rate decision. Now, before every central bank rate decision, we always look at how the economy changed and whether, the rate decision is justified. So this is a table, and every head of, actually, you can't see my table yet. Let me stop sharing, and I'm going to share my screen again, and you should see my table. So here you go. So we always look at how the economy has changed from one meeting to the last to see not only if a rate change is justified, but what the central bank's bias is going to be, whether the central bank's bias is positive or negative. So with this, you can see that the market is pricing in a 100% chance of a interest rate cut from the RBA. But taking a look at this, do you think, I'm going to ask you a question now, do you think the RBA's bias should be dovish, which means more rate cuts after this week's, or should they be neutral or hawkish, which means no rate cuts? Take a wild guess. Taking a look at this, you can see that, and while you're doing that, I'm going to explain this chart. I want you to type in, do you think that it should be dovish, neutral, or hawkish? Taking a look at this, you can see that the consumer spending level has weakened. Retail sales growth has slowed. Consumer confidence is pretty much unchanged. It's bullish, but pretty much unchanged. Labor market activity. We had job losses. We have full-time employment growth slowing, less participation. Also, labor market weakening in the month of May. Inflation conditions. Consumers think prices are going to go up more at a faster pace. But the data shows that, and that's what the CPI monthly numbers show, the data show that the inflation is actually eased. Housing market stabilizing, which should be no surprise because, if we get lower interest rates coming and we have the prospect of lower interest rates, housing market activity, should be better. Activity itself, GDP numbers are weaker. Leading indicators are weaker. Business confidence has improved a little bit, although this is from April. Trade data seems to be improved, so we seem to be weaker. Manufacturing conditions are weaker. Service sector activity did improve a little bit. And then China, all across the board, Chinese economic activity has weakened. But the market indicators, which are the stock market, has improved in Australia, in Shanghai, and yields have actually fallen quite a bit. This is actually kind of important because the drop in yields kind of means that it's doing the work for the RBA. So in some ways, maybe they don't need to cut interest rates so much. But you are all telling me Fred is saying dovish. Tammy is saying dovish. Another mutant is saying bearish. Quinn is saying dovish. John says neutral. And Mark says bearish. Tammy, and I met up in Melbourne last time I was there. And so she's giving us a on the ground take. And you are all, I think most of you are absolutely right, because not only is and I hope you are right, because that's what is going to be the real trade, because not only is the RBA expected to cut interest rates by 25 basis points, but another 50 basis points of easing is expected from the RBA before the end of the year. So the market is looking at some aggressive 75 basis points of rate cuts, probably the most aggressive easing by any central bank for the second half of the year. The RBA is expected to be one of the most dovish, which is quite interesting because Aussie is not weak. Aussie is much closer to the upper right-hand corner of the chart than the lower right-hand corner, right? It's actually strong, not weak. So there could be plenty of downside. Now, there's a lot of support. I mean, we've got a bunch of moving average support from here to there, and I guarantee you we've got a ton of fib support as well. So there's a lot of technical support levels. But from a interest rate perspective, they are expected to be one of the most dovish, cutting the most interest rates in the second half of the year. And so they are meeting, I believe, tonight. And if they confirm that, if they cut rates and they tell us that more is coming, then we will see not only an additional sell-off, but probably a much more aggressive sell-off for the rest of the week, if not longer. There's a really good question from another mutant. What is the relationship between Aussie and gold? Well, let's see. I'm doing this because I want to teach you guys to do this yourself. You can see this yourself. Let's add in. We know that Australia is a huge gold producer. So theoretically, there should be a positive correlation between gold and the Australian dollar. So I've just added in, I'm sorry I did this fast. I just added in gold So I just typed in GC because I know that's the symbol. We could also type in gold and put in the front contract for gold futures. But now what I'm going to do, and I'm going to right click, I'm going to pin this to the left so it's easier to look at. And, let's just make this blue because there's way too many. It'll just be easier to see. So we have the blue line, which is gold, and the candlesticks, which is the Australian dollar. And look at this. Pretty much positive correlation. Basically, when gold rises, Aussie rises. Now, if we go on a weekly chart, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to click to the right. I'm going to make this regular so it's easier to for you to see the levels. And I'm going to zoom in. Like you already know this is positive correlation, but I want to zoom into this period here. Where's this? And you can see, it's not perfect, but you can see also kind of mirror images of each other. They're all also kind of moving in the general direction. Now, it's not 100%, but, you can see that there's a nice positive correlation. So, if gold pulls back, and it's, pretty much, part of it is the RBA, part of it is US dollar strength. If gold pulls back because of the US dollar rallying, Aussie will pull back as well. And that is the reason why, dollar is so important, because even throughout this period of time down here, RBA was still poised to cut interest rates. And yet Aussie was rallying and not falling because the US dollar was weakening. So in many ways, I would say the US dollar is even more important than what happens to the RBA. But of course, RBA doesn't meet every month or every week. Tonight, it's all going to be about the RBA. Thank you so much, Eugene. I am so happy that, you enjoy this. Make sure you join the free trading community, because there is so much more in the free trading community that you can learn. All right. What else am I getting at? RBNZ, Reserve Bank of New Zealand. They've got a rate decision. All right. What do you think? The market is split on whether, let me move this, the RBNZ should cut interest rates. Based upon this table, if you were the RBNZ, and this is what I like, this is what I try to get you guys all to do, which is to put yourselves into the shoes of the central bank. If you were the RBNZ, and this is how your economy changed from the last central bank meeting, should you be cutting interest rates or not? Should you leave interest rates unchanged? Should you cut interest rates? What do you think? What would you do if you were the RBNZ? Would you cut interest rates or leave them unchanged? Take a wild guess. And while you're doing that, I'm going to run you through it. Retail sales has weakened, although they're on the Q1 basis, they're still up. Credit card spending is down. Consumer confidence, for some reason, jumped a lot from 92.9 to 98.8. Employment conditions are pretty much the same. Employment change up a little bit, actually turned positive. Unemployment rate remains steady. Participation rate declined a little bit. These two top columns, I think, are mostly weakness. GDP improved, so definitely some strength there. But PMI services, manufacturing, business confidence, trade, this whole section is very, very important, because this whole section determines the future direction of this section. And that's all bearish. Inflation, though, did tick up quite a bit from 0.5 to 0.9. And on a quarterly year-over-year basis, this is a huge jump from 2.2 to 2.5. All these central banks try to keep their inflation rate around 2%. And the fact that it went closer to 3% is bad news. Food prices are up as well. This is a big jump in food prices from 3.7 to 4.4. But, commodity prices growth slowed in June, but still double digits. Housing market activities improved. Market indicators are improved. So what are you guys saying? You guys are saying not, I would hold off if that was the RBNZ, unchanged, 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 hold, no cut. Most of you are saying unchanged. And we will see. I mean, you're in the right thinking. You have the same forecast as the $500,000 economists that these banks are paying. These lead economists that are making $400,000 or $500,000 a year at JP Morgan, at Bank of America, at ANZ, you are coming up with the same forecast that they are, which is unchanged across the board, because there is both improvements and deterioration. But as traders, we know that it's not about what they're going to do, although it is, but it's what they're going to do, what they say they're going to do in the future, the guidance. I think that most of you are absolutely right that they're probably going to leave interest rates unchanged. But if you are the RBNZ and you left interest rates unchanged, will you be dovish or neutral or hawkish? And dovish would mean that will you signal that, okay, we're leaving interest rates unchanged, but we're still thinking about cutting them because activity down here is looking really bad and up here is looking really bad? Will you be neutral, saying, okay, we're leaving interest rates unchanged, things aren't so terrible, we're going to wait and see? Are you going to say, we're leaving interest rates unchanged, but inflation is such a big issue that we have no plans to we have no plans to cut interest rates again in the second quarter? I mean, most central banks will offer neutral data dependent. I think they're going to be neutral dovish. I think that they're going to leave interest rates unchanged, which will probably lead to initial pop in the Kiwi, but then they are going to be dovish, because all this here is really bad news. And all this here in the middle is going to signal what's going to be up here on top, because it will lead to the activity indicators, consumer, labor market weakness. They are not done. I think they're still expected to cut interest rates at least once, maybe even twice this year. So I think that I personally, and maybe you guys are right, we will revisit this after the RBNZ, but I think they're going to be neutral. They're going to leave interest rates unchanged and be dovish. But that's why I'm neutral Kiwis right now, because for the RBNZ itself, which is Tuesday night my time, Wednesday morning their time, they're going to leave interest rates unchanged and then be dovish. So I'm neutral bullish dollars. This really should be bullish, but because the tariff headlines, I want you guys to all be vigilant. It could go either way. We could get trade deals. He could be unhappy with some of the discussions that are being made, and him being Trump. So we don't know. But for the most part, I'm going to be neutral bullish dollars this week. I'm bearish euros. We're done with the big data. The industrial production and the retail sales data this morning was stronger, did not help euro. I think we're going to see more of a pullback in the euro this week. We do not have any major UK data until Friday, where we have the GDP, industrial production numbers. So for the beginning of the week, I think it's all going to be based upon how the US dollar moves. And I certainly think that pound dollar has peaked. I'm bearish Aussies because I think RBA is going to cut rates. They're going to say more is to come. This is also a big week for CAD. And for those of you that are BK members, you can click on this and get my really detailed outlook on all of this stuff, and get more insight into what I think. But this week is a big week for CAD. We have IVPMI today, which is their most important PMI report. And then we also have CAD jobs report at the end of the week, both of which are expected to be weaker. And the CAD has been very strong because, they dropped that digital tax, the trade talks are on track. But I think it's time for a deeper correction in the Canadian dollar. New Zealand has a rate decision, and they are expected to leave interest rate unchanged. And as I said, I think they're going to be dovish. So I'm still looking for a bit of weakness in the currency. And then Swiss franc, I'm neutral, bearish Swiss francs, and I'm neutral the Japanese yen. We had weaker Japanese labor cash earnings. I think we're going to see some additional weakness in the yen against the dollar, but not against the other, the other currencies will be a tougher call. We can take a look at that. Let's get gold off of the charts. Hold on. Actually, let's look at the data for the week before we move to that. Okay, so for the data for the week, as I said, weaker labor cash earnings. This is a pretty important report for Japan, and is yen bearish. And we had stronger Eurozone data later on today. We've got IVPMI, which I don't know why they don't have here, but IVP, actually no, IVPMI is tomorrow. Tonight we have our RBA. BK members, RBA is later. So we are not going to be trading Aussie tonight. It's very important to know what to trade, what not to trade. So we won't be trading Aussie tonight because but we'll be looking for other trading opportunities because we're not going to be trading Aussie ahead of the RBA. But RBA is tonight, 25 basis point rate cut expected. Tomorrow we got the German trade data, which may be some preemptive buying before the tariffs kick in. IVPMI tomorrow, which is expected to be stronger. And then we have Chinese inflation data. RBNZ expected to leave interest rates unchanged, but guidance is key. Wednesday, we have the Fed minutes. Where are the Fed minutes? FOMC minutes is the main focus. Wednesday is also the trade deal deadline. So that's going to be a big headline risk day in the morning, as well as the Fed minutes. And then on Thursday, we have the jobless claims, always important, as one of our other viewers pointed out earlier. Then we have New Zealand business PMI. And then on Friday, we have UK GDP numbers and industrial production numbers, and then the CAD jobs report, which I think is going to be quite ugly. There's going to be a lot of trading opportunities this week. For those of you that are trading prop and they're looking to get funded, this is tomorrow is the last day of the 80% discount from Apex. Boris will share that. BK Save will get you the 80% discount code. Boris will drop it into the chat. But tomorrow at midnight is the deadline for the 80% off. So make sure you grab that discount because this could be one of those weeks you get funded with all of the tariff headlines. Technically, euro dollar, as I said earlier, rolling over peak. I definitely expect to move at least down to 1600 in euro dollar. Dollar Swiss, all signs of a bottom in a dollar, rolling upwards. 81 cents, I think, is where we're going to see dollar Swiss stop at. Dollar yen's already retraced a little bit. Definitely hitting 146 at the 100 SMA, but I think we're going to get up to this region here around 147. Dollar CAD has more signs of back and forth than the other currencies because, they think a trade deal is going to be reached by Canada. So we have to respect this. We have to respect that the CAD is one of the firmer currencies. Although I also think that we're going to get see a bottom dollar CAD get up to 137.50. Pound dollar rolling over. Moving averages matter. Pound really likes to respect and hold and bounce off of this yellow line, which is the 20 SMA. I have them on my charts because they matter, because they're important. So we will need to see a close below the 20 SMA or a more significant move to open up the door to the downside down to 135. I think it's going to happen, but we will need to see that move lower more. Aussie already moving lower, but I also think there's more downside risk to Aussie. Kiwi, once again, another example that moving averages matter. No coincidence that the move today stopped at the 50-day SMA. So if you're looking for things to give you a perspective or reference point for targets and stops, use the moving averages. They are important. They are there, on my charts for a reason because I truly believe in them. So make sure you use that. But otherwise, headlines are going to be driving the flow. Make sure that you join our free trading community because I'm going to be updating you all on the headlines as they come. So once again, it's just the bit.ly link, which is bit.ly, join BK Traders, completely free. And the invitation that you log in will come to your email after you click on get access. And so it's a headline driven week. And I'm going to be doing videos for our BK members as a part of the free trading community to make sure that you guys are on top of all this. Also, Boris is going to join us. If you want to say hello, Boris, one administrative thing. I am on vacation next week, so I will not be live streaming next Monday. Boris will be live streaming, so he's going to give you the outlook. And I'm going to create a video for our members. For everyone else, Boris is going to share with you all my thoughts in my video. And he's going to watch it. He's going to give you the headlines.
Do we have tradable data next week? We might even do
we have retail sales next week.
Right.
Let's see together. There's no reason not to do this. I know for sure we have retail sales. I want to say we have inflation, which is very important.
I think so, because it's middle of the month. Usually inflation comes in middle of the month.
Yes, I'm pretty sure we have inflation. But let's see. Let's do this together. So US, I'm absolutely right. Wednesday is inflation. Tuesday is inflation. CPI. Thursday is retail sales. So Boris might do some live trading sessions.
We're going to definitely trade CPI as an event risk on Tuesday, which will be great. So hopefully you guys will come join us for that.
And this CPI report is more important than others, Boris, because the following July 29-30 is the next Fed meeting. So the markets, obviously, I don't think they're going to cut interest rates, but there are some of them that some Fed officials are calling for it, and so this will be very, very important.
So, speaking of that, I just want to show you. There was where's my Twitter here? Where is it? Oh, sorry, I must be on my profile. I retweeted this.
Why don't you find it first and then share your screen?
No, I thought I had it. Here we go. I want to share with you. This is a very important little visual. It's the odds of a Fed rate cut in September, and they've really gone down. So it's really interesting that people don't think there's going to be a rate cut at all coming up. In fact, I've seen a lot of macro analysts saying that there'll be no rate cuts at all this year, given the strength of the year.
That means that, and Boris is absolutely right. That means that, so we had a good jobs report, right? If we have a hot CPI, those odds could go down to, instead of, you click on it, Boris, I think it's like 65% right now. Those odds could go to 45%. Yeah. And if those odds, we can, we do this every week. Not every week, but we did this last week. CME Fed Fund Futures. You can do it yourself. You don't need to, I think we looked at this last week. And something that we look at all the time, CME Fed Fund Futures. To Google it, click on the first link, CME Fed Watch. You can see it says you visit this often, Kathy. Click on September. And as Boris said, you
need to add it to the stage. Here we go.
Okay, 69%. And this has changed quite a bit. 1 week ago, it was basically 95% chance. Down here, you see this? I'm going to move this up. 95% chance 1 week ago, 75 plus 20, 95% chance. Now it's fallen to 70% chance. And we get those hot inflation data next week. This could be 40%. And if it's 40%, it could be a huge dollar rally. But, when Boris trades it with you and you have to join us next week for trading live inflation data, that instant it comes out, that adjustment will happen. There'll be plenty of opportunities in gold, in NASDAQ, so in currencies. So I think it's going to be a very, very important and exciting live trading session. Not this week, the following week. And you would only get this invitation if you join our free trading community. Make sure you join it.
Yeah, Owen in the room is saying that there is no way to connect to the free trading. I just put in the link. Owen, just click that link, and that will automatically when you fill out that information, they'll put you into a free community. So it says
there's only a sell option. That's so Quinn. Check your email box. It says, if you look at the upper top, it will say, let me show you this. Okay. I used one of my other emails, my dead emails. So don't try emailing me here. Click this, let me in. And it says, yes, it tells you about our indicators, things like that, but it says your access is on the way. Check your email. It will be in your email, Quinn. Just go to your email and you will get the link for entering.
Yeah, everybody who's asking, where's the link? I'm literally just posting a link over and over again in chat. Just click that link. That will instantiate the whole process of registration for you. Just
I think on X they can't see the link. We can.
Oh, if you're on X, I'll give you the QR code, or we'll put it.
We should have the QR code all the time, Boris, because
I can't put it on here because you have the control. You have the control of the screen, Kay. Okay.
But you added your screen a second ago, so you can do it in a second.
Yeah. Well, give me a second.
Yeah.
I got a million.
I mean, it takes a second to do it, but I will also drop it into the thing. But I agree, we should have the QR code only because I can't click on the link either. But any questions while Boris is getting us the link? Any questions about the markets, what you're trading,
Wait.
and so forth?
No,
It's
this one.
definitely
Sorry.
this week
Sorry.
is all headline risk. So it's definitely something that is going to be very, very important.
Okay.
I'm dropping the link in the X right now. Okay. Join our free.
And if you're on X and you're watching us, just QR code that thing. It says join our free community. You see that right there? You just code it right there.
Yeah, we should have a card, Boris, with just the banner on the bottom without the ad on the right.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's no longer 50% off. It's
No, I know.
80% off right now.
It's going to be 80% off. Actually, it's a much better deal. I just have to. I'm rushing because you're screaming at me to get the thing up, and I have a million different things I got to do.
Okay, well, it's on to you now. So feel free.
All right. So good morning, guys. Good morning. We're gonna let Kay go. Thank you so much for all your macro stuff. We're ready to do live trading. Let me just get my camera. My camera seems to be a little bit off here. Okay. Good morning. Thank you. Let's go to my screens here. And I got a lot of stuff I'm going to show you. Let me change my layouts and everything else. Okay. So I got a lot of stuff to share with you today. I hope you guys had a very relaxing July 4th break. I actually did a little bit of trading over the 4th. When the markets were sort of trading European hours, very small size. It was very, 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 very chill. What I want to show you today, before anything else, is a couple of things. Apex is going to end its 80% off sale. So you got literally 24 hours to go out there, get as many accounts as possible. They are $30 for 25,000, less than $40 for the 50,000, and I think $59 for $150,000, $250,000 account, right? So that's wonderful. Get as many of them as possible. But here's the other cool thing. Over the weekend, I had my friends at Wealth Charts show me their absolutely free trade copier. So if you do the following, you go out there, you get Apex accounts using the Wealth Charts, function. Let's just go into Apex. I'll show you exactly how to do this. Let's go to Apex. I'm going to log into my personal account, not my corporate account, just to show you where the stuff resides. Because you know me, I eat my own dog food. I buy the accounts along with you. All you need to do is go to this Wealth Charts part, choose any account you like. Like the 50,000 is the perfect sweet spot account, in my opinion. That's the best account to buy, right? You put in the word BK Save. Make sure you put in this word, otherwise you will not get the absolute biggest discount possible, right? Blah, blah, blah. Hit this. Hit next. I guess it's verifying to make sure that verification is successful. Okay, just doing a little bit of thing. And you see this. This is actually less. Oh my God, I didn't realize it's $33. It's less than what I paid for my pancakes yesterday. That's the $50,000 account. So that all you do is just put in your credit card. I'm not gonna put my credit card because you guys know I'm tired of changing my credit card because I expose it all the time on the internet. So just put in your credit card, get it. Get like 4 or 5 of these, and I'll explain to you why. Because with the free trade copier, right, we can now trade all of our short-term scalp trades, everything that we do day in, day out, across multiple accounts for zero money with Wealth Charts trades. That's amazing. And I'll show you, once we get a couple of setups, I'm going to show you exactly how to use Trade Copier, multiple accounts. We're going to just simply replicate against, so here's, just to show you how this works. This is my layout. By the way, I think you guys are probably asking me, you're probably going to ask me, how do I get this layout on Wealth Charts? The easiest way is, let me just go in here and I go to layout and I go to export layout. And I'm going to copy this. and I will put this into comments. So for those of you who just want to simply take that link, and you copy that link, and you can import that layout into your wealth charts, and you will get the exact same thing as I have here, right? So right now, this is a perfect example. We actually have, market is opening up 9:30, right? We have a relatively clean counter trend buy because the market is still negative trend. The blue is below the red, but we do have positive green dots, one above the other, and the moving average curling up, right? So this is a halfway decent small trade if it holds. And again, big thing is if it holds. We've got 55 seconds left here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 110 account. That's going to be my leader account. And I'm going to replicate it to my 109 account, right? Using the MNQ, just one-to-one, tiny little one-to-one trade if this trade holds. And you're going to see how using this trade copier, you're able to trade more than one account on small size and basically leverage your whole ability. Now, this obviously, this is contingent on us having the signal. 17 seconds left. The signal looks a little wonky. And this is not a perfect signal because it's not a trend signal. It's a counter trend signal. So that's why we're trading it, small. But we will hold 5. Wait, what happened here? Why did this go away? Oh, here we go. Buy. Okay. So I replicated into 2 accounts, right? Now I've replicated into 2 accounts. I am in the 109 and 110 account. Unfortunately, I don't think this trade is going to work for us, but that's not the point. The point is to kind of show you how easy it is to do a trade copy signal. I have 962 as my target. It's a lot of volatility. It's 9:30 in the morning. It's the opening range trade. It almost never works. We'll do more of this as we get much better signals as the day progresses. But maybe we get lucky, and we do get lucky. And as we get lucky, you see now that both the 109 and the 110 account completely cleared into a positive P&L, right? Positive P&L, positive P&L. See how easy that was? Now that was tiny. I'm trading $10 trades, but remember you could replicate this across 10 accounts if you wanted to. That one single trade at very, very small risk would have been $100 to you in less than 5 seconds. And it wasn't even a great trade. It was a marginally good trade, marginally okay trade. But that's the incredible power of us being able to use trade copier along with trade copier with wealth charts along with the great discount and Apex to basically just kill it. Now you could run 5-10 accounts to funding off of one account that's being traded, right? So as I said, it's really, really cool. Hey, Jimmy, I saw that you signed up for 360. That includes 3 free Apex accounts. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, my friend. Jimmy is saying he just signed up for the special deal. And let me show you this deal because you need to, in order to get everything you want from me, which is the wealth charts indicator, the dots indicator, the ability to get 3 free Apex accounts, and the coaching that I really want you guys to come in and okay. And all of that is in this link over here. So I just put the link in here. Let me just do this link again. This is the link you need to click to be able to get coaching, 3 free Apex accounts, and all the functionality of wealth charts, free trade copier, and my BFF dots indicator, which is just money, as you can see. Even when it works, when it's a tough trade, it pretty much always turns out to be money. So hopefully you guys like that. And you literally have the whole idea with us is you now have all the tool sets to make money every day, all day long. right? Now, I just jumped you right into everything because I want everybody to go out there, get crazy, get some Apex accounts, get some coaching from us on wealth charts, do all the good stuff that that is necessary to help you pass the test. As you know, one of the cool things. What is this chart? What is this chart? Okay, yes. So here's the thing that I want to tell you. We fund accounts, right? Everybody who trades with me, or not everybody, but 70% of people who coach with me have their accounts funded versus only 5% of people who don't know what they're doing, people who are just coming off the street. That's the difference. If you want to basically give yourself a 14 times greater chance of getting funded, you trade with me on the system that I developed. The system that I developed is called, BFF Dots. It's a very, very simple but elegant trend trading system. And it works both on wealth charts and on TradingView. I want to show it to you on TradingView right now. Now, I want to go through the system very, very quickly because this is what we all do all day long, and explain to you exactly how and why we pick our trade spots and do and basically try to create an 80-90% strike rate. That means 80-90% of our trades should hit our target rather than a loss. How does Boris come in this channel for futures? I'm in futures. We're doing futures right now. Not sure what you mean, but specify what you're saying. Okay. How about Ninja? No. I payment. I'm trying. It's not that I don't love Ninja. It's just we don't have the indicator for Ninja. Although honestly, I could get it, and we probably could code it for Ninja. It's just that honestly, why would you want to trade Ninja when you can trade Trade which is web-based? You can trade wealth charts, which is web-based. We are very, very web-based neutral. Any web-based platform will let you trade it. Why the fuck would you want to trade Ninja, which is so much more? I'm sure that there's reasons, but for the most people, it's much simpler to use web-based platforms. That's why we love Trade we love wealth charts, and both of the indicators, the same indicator works for both platforms just as well. So I'm going to go through the very, very simple 4-step process of how we select a trade right now for everybody who's new. Whoever is new in the room, raise your hand. Raise your hand. I want to see some emojis, raised hands in the room. I get 10 of those. I'll tell you how I do my system. I just want to see everybody's interest in here, because otherwise I want to make sure you guys are paying attention. Show me a show of hands, emoji hands over here on whether you want me to teach you how we consistently, every single day hit our targets and create really, really strong trade. Jimmy, I really did not make him. Did not pay him to say that. Okay, I only see one. Let's go, you bastards! I want to see more hands. Raise hands. Raise hands. Raise hands. Let's go. 2. 3, 4. Let's go. 5. Nice job. 6. Nice job. Okay. 7. Cheryl. These are all people who are raising hands who already know how to trade. These are people who are already making money. And you guys who are new, let's go. All I'm asking you is to raise your hand. You gotta make a tiny little bit of commitment to want to be successful in trading. Let's go. I want to see this. Okay, very nice. Good job. Nice job. Thank you, guys. Okay, so super simple way to make sure that you're always hitting winning trades in futures. Here's how it goes. We start with trend definition. We define trend, the big trend, as blue over red or blue above red, meaning that short-term moving average, 8-period SMA against a 200-period SMA. If we're below, we're negative trend. If we're above, we're positive trend. What are we looking at right now? Are we negative or positive trend? Step one in NASDAQ. I'm looking at NASDAQ right now. Are we negative or positive trend in NASDAQ? Yes. Just type in the word negative or positive sign. What trend are we in? What trend are we in? Right? Negative. Right? Let's go. Negative, negative, negative. I want to see some negative signs here, because negative trend. Blue is below red. We're negative trend, right? Negative trend. Step one. Step two, the single most important component of this whole thing. This indicator is called BFF dots. B effing focused dots. The dots stand for momentum. I need to have red dots for red momentum. If you don't have momentum, you don't have anything. You have nothing in trading. So you need red dots. Do I have red dots? I have no red dots. We're just, we're treading water right now. But we want red dots or purple dots. Purple dots is the same thing as a red dot, except what it is it tells you that it's higher than the prior dot. It's kind of it's a weaker version of a red dot, just as a white dot is a weaker version of a green dot. A white dot, it comes in from a lower point of the green dot. So what we want in a perfect combo, if we're doing a short trade, is a purple dot, red dot, negative slope, right? We want the purple dot, two dots, one lower than the other after we have negative trend, right? So that's the third component. We have trend, we have dots, and then we have slope. Slope is one below the other or one above the other. Positive slope for long trades, negative slope for short trades. But then the final secret sauce, the thing that makes all the money, is something I just coded over the weekend. I'm going to show it to you right now. I'm going to show it to you because I coded on TradingView for TradeEvade. But it's going to come to well charts as well. Here's what I want to show you. Do you see the 8-period moving average? You see how it's turning green? The slope itself is becoming positive. Now, in this particular case, this is a counter trend trade. We always want to trade trend trades, but God knows I've certainly been much more successful trading trend trades with you guys. But we always have a couple of accounts. We want to try and trade counter trend trades. But if we're going to trade counter trend trades, we can never ever do it unless the short-term moving average, in this case, it's a counter trend trade, so it's going against it's a downtrend and we're moving up, right? Is turned to green. So if I wanted to have this trade, I would need white dot, green dot. I don't have a green dot, so I don't even have a trade. And this little green segment of the moving average. Look how cool, by the way, this whole color coding now happens in a little bit prior, where I traded this on a counter trend basis. In this particular case, NASDAQ was positive trend, but it started to weaken. I started to get purple, red dots, and a red slope on the moving average. Shorting here was just money. Easy as literally taking candy from a baby. Shorting here was money. Easy as taking candy from a baby. I think there's a couple of trades. See right over here, boom, boom, boom. I traded all of those based upon that particular structure. So now we have a counter trend set up in the account. And we can still continue to try to trade this between 110 and 109 account, the two counter trend accounts for us, if we get a green dot. So far, we don't have a green dot. We don't have enough momentum here to even consider it. But if you look at this chart on TradingView, you'll see how the moving average has started to turn green. That's a good sign for us for a counter trend trade. That means that the short-term moving average is starting to turn up. And there are possible upside trades here, assuming you get momentum, which we don't necessarily do. Oh, I'm so glad you like it. Anybody who has traded with me, who has made tons of money getting their accounts funded, is going to absolutely love this final component. This is the final piece to giving us rock solid visual information. And you see, by the way, look, it kind of starting to turn red, right? It kind of is starting to show the weakness. So there's no counter trend trade, right? It's actually now starting to show us possible beginning of a trend trade, right? We have a red dot. We get one more red dot. The thing turns red. It's really awesome. It's just the absolute final visual clue that makes trading so much easier in terms of picking up the trade. Marco, which offer? The offer from Apex ends tomorrow. So go out there, buy as many Apex accounts as possible. My coaching offer, it's good forever. I want you to do it today, because the sooner you do it, oops, sorry, I screwed this up. Let me give you the link. I forgot my own codes here. The sooner you do it, the quicker I can give you free accounts, and the quicker I can get you organized on this. But go out there and do it. So I would be lying. So Marco is saying, when is the offer? The 3 free accounts is going to end tomorrow, because once Apex ends its 80% discount, I'm only going to give you like 1 account. So it's a huge incentive for you guys to go out there and get my coaching, because you're going to get 3 free accounts from me, because Apex is still discounted. So yeah, I mean, these are all amazing things, that are going to be there. So those of you guys who have the trading view, just simply update the BFF dots only indicator. Just simply update it, and you will have the color coded move, which is so cool, right? You can watch this right now. If I get another red dot here in NASDAQ, that'll be a super legitimate trend trade for us, right? Yeah, and Andy, we're going to save DNA funded probably till next week, because that stuff is not going to be ready until probably about a week or so. It takes a while to port it, but yes, it will. We will be talking about that as a really good choice for people who want the CFD product. But for now, today it's all about futures. It's all about Apex. It's all about the ability to trade. And by the way, not much is going on, right? Look at this. There's very little price action. There's little direction, and we're doing nothing because our indicator tells us to do nothing, right? Here's the beautiful part. It's not just the fact that it makes you money on good trades. It keeps you out of doing stupid things by not giving you bad signals. Like, a much more valuable aspect of the indicator, in my opinion, is that it keeps you out of dumbass trades rather than just give you good trade ideas. We're in Chop City right now. Prices are up and down all over the place, doing absolutely nothing, and we really don't have anything to do. It's kind of super quiet. I want to check something else here on the other side here. We do. Okay, so here's a good example. I want to show you something very cool. All right, so let's go to gold, right? So here's gold. So what you see here in gold, you see this in gold here? I got positive trend, positive momentum, but it was red SMA. And this trade has so far shown you nothing, shown you no winning possibility. If you bought this, you'd be losing money. So this kept you out of a badass trade. And unless I get green all across the screen, I got no trades, right? I need another green dot here along with this green this green turn in the moving average to give me a true confirmation that I got stuff going on. Just so cool in terms of how the structure happens here, right? Right now, as I said, there's nothing much to do here. We're twisting in the wind, which is fine. Markets are a little flat. No. Wealth Charts is completely a separate platform. Okay. Wealth Charts is integrated into Apex. Wealth Charts as a platform has a free trade copier, which is what I'm showing you right now, right? And we give you the choice of trading with well charts or trading with TradingView. We give you, or you can trade with both. In other words, you can use Tradeovate, which is Ninja Tradeovate, or you can use well charts. They both work exactly the same. The indicator on TradingView is the same indicator as it is on well charts. The only thing of the well charts just doesn't have the color-coded short-term moving average, which I will have that soon, and that'll be that's the final pièce de résistance of this thing. But other than that, your choice is yours depending on how you want to trade. So super easy. The bottom line is, go out there, get my coaching. I'll give you free Apex accounts. You can choose whether you want to use them for well charts or for Tradeovate. Either way, I give you the full suite of tools to make your trades happen, right? So like right now, we got a minute 3 counter trend trade, 2 green dots in NASDAQ, right? Starting to turn up. If we look at NASDAQ trade over here, right? What do we see? We see the final piece, which is that the short-term moving average is green and staying green, worth a shot. Worth a shot for us as a counter trend trade, right? We're going to go over here. We're going to wait for 40 seconds. If this thing stays with a dot, we're going to trade this. We're going to trade this again just in my trade copier, with 110 account being the leader account and the 109 account being the receiver account. So the trades are going to replicate in both accounts, assuming the signal holds. We got to make sure the signal holds. Yes, Canadians can buy as many Apexes as they want. It's the last luxury left to you in your communist state. I'm just kidding. All right, buy. So I'm long in a counter trend basis. And look how fast that was. Boom, boom. Thank you very much. Yet more P&L for us, and more P&L for us in 2 accounts. You see how fast that was? I said we're going to go long. You pull the trigger. The one thing we know is that no hesitation. Boom, boom, across 2 accounts. Super easy, right? So instead of I'm doing half the work for twice the return, because I'm trading 2 accounts without any effort. It was just that one single click. You see how cool that was? That's why the combination of free trade copier with Apex discount is just a superpower for you guys to go out there and get out there, and get as many accounts as possible, right? So Rosemary, you with me? Where are you from in Canada, Rosemary? Where are you from in Canada? Yes, Canadians can do this. I'm correct about Canada. I know. I have my, my kids are dual citizens. They're Canadians and Americans. My son is actually in Vancouver right now. Yeah. Who's here from Canada? Give me what towns are you guys from Canada? Who's here from Vancouver? Who's from Montreal? Who's from Toronto? Let me know. Let me know about where you guys are coming from. I'm curious. But how cool is this? You see this? It's just bang, 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 and we're hitting the targets. Super sweet. Montreal, Tony C. I really love Montreal because, first of all, and this is a hill I'm willing to die on, and I'm a true blue New Yorker who lives now in half all my summers in Jersey, which by the way has better bagels than New York at this point. But this is a hill I will die on, that Montreal bagels trump New York bagels. If you're a true bagel aficionado, they're better bagels than New York bagels. So I will die on that hill. Yeah, absolutely. So you can buy them and kind of store them. I mean, Rosemary, you don't want to wait too long because they do renew, right? They do renew after 30 days unless you cancel them. But they're so cheap, honestly, the coaching you want, here's my point is, trading those cheap accounts is the coaching you need. You can't learn how to drive a car unless you get behind a wheel. You know, I can teach you the theory of driving a car, but the best way is to get behind the wheel. The difference is you don't want to get behind a real car and crash the fucking thing, right? You want to get behind a wheel in what is essentially a simulator. So the worst that happens to you is if you crash on the road, which I'm sure you will when you drive a simulator, nothing happens to you. You know, you lose a tiny little evaluation account. That's what makes prop trading so great. It is the perfect coaching mechanism that has this unbelievable payoff if you do well. Because if you kind of, you know, do well in coaching, you pass your test, you're like, oh, I now have real money to trade with. I'm funded with this account. I can get payouts. So it's a really great journey. Don't hesitate. Don't worry. You don't need the coaching I will give you every day, and the coaching we give you in our special coaching session every Thursday night. But go out there and just have fun with it. Just trade what I'm doing. The only thing you want to learn from me right now, the number one thing you want to learn from me right now is what am I doing? I'm trading the smallest size possible. I'm trading the smallest size possible. I will never, ever hurt myself if I trade the smallest size possible, right? Speaking of which, by the way, here's what I want to show you guys. Who remembers how I nearly butchered this 109 account, right? I mean, butchered it so it was like $200 away from being tapped out. Maybe it was $400, you know, away from being tapped out. You guys remember that, right? Remember what happened there? So I said to you, oh, this account is blown. This account is blown, right? And I'm just like, okay, fuck it. This account is blown. And look, I brought it back to practically break even, less than 80, 90 bucks away from break even. So what did I do? What did I do in that particular account to bring myself back? And by the way, I'm actually kind of happier about that than all the accounts I'm funding right now, than all the accounts that I'm driving towards target, blah, blah, blah. Do you know why? Because the greatest thing in trading is not to win. The greatest thing in trading is to come back from a loss. So what I did in this account is I simply focused on making trend trades only in moderate size, not like, you know, full size. I can have 4 large contracts. I did 2 large contracts, but like hyper focused sniper trades. And slowly but surely, I chipped away at that $1,000 loss to bring it down to just an $89 loss, just by being super, super focused. It was a really amazing validation of the strategy when applied properly. So, you know, we'll still see where this account goes. But the point is, it's amazing that I was able to basically rescue it from pure death when I did it. Best bagels in the world, Saint Viateur. Probably. I would agree. I definitely think the Montreal bagel is a better bagel. What day do I interview traders? It's going to be usually Friday or Thursday. I'm actually trying to set up a few interviews, you know, coming up for us. So I'll let you guys know. I have a couple of really cool people that I might want to come on the show. So you guys follow me on, you know, what I was basically saying to you. It was when I needed to rescue the account, I focused trading strictly trend and modest amount of leverage, and I was able to bring it back. In the meantime, you know, this is all we're just you know, try to slowly, surely move this around. This account 2117 is only about $300 away from getting funded. So, you know, that's the account that I'm kind of watching. This is a trend account. We just don't have any clean trades right now. So I've been very, very precise in trying to just pick out the trades that make sense. Here's gold. Here's an interesting thing. Remember I said to you on gold, I want to see 2 green dots and a green thing. Like right now, I only have 1 green dot. Remember, every time we get a red dot, we start the count all over again. So I have I need a second green dot against this green thing. Maybe maybe gold will show us a little bit more of a trend move. Gold has been a very kind of a chop move. Jesus, it sort of started out lots and lots of selling in Asia. I was selling this in Asia very hard. It was all negative trend, right? Then we sort of stabilized in Europe a little bit. Did a little bit of a recovery. Why is this not moving? A little bit of a chop and recovery back to test the lows. I don't know why this is. I'm having a hard time grabbing it. And now we sort of established a little bit of a position above trend, but hardly giving you a tremendous amount of momentum power. And that's the thing. When you don't have a lot of momentum, there's no point in making a trade. Gold is just not really, showing us a quality trade. NASDAQ also really having a hard time here finding direction. So interesting here. NASDAQ is kind of turning down, but here's what I want to show you. This is really cool. Do you see how this is a little bit green? You see how this is still green? The short-term moving average still green? That's not a trade. That's not a trade. That's a sucker bet. This thing has got to turn red in order for us to seriously, genuinely want to make a trend trade in NASDAQ. Like, I love the fact that this one last visual clue is the real determinant as to whether you want to pull the trigger or not. It's just so valuable as a tool. See, it's finally starting to pull the moving average down, but the moving average still remains green, right? You really want negative. You want you really want the negative red on the moving average. So what that means is, if we truly start to sell off, it will give us a signal. If we don't sell off, it's yet another bump trade, yet another crappy loss saved by not plowing into a position. See, over here you'd be like plowing into position. Now it finally turned red on the close, which is fine. And now we can, as I'm watching this right now, we can wait and see. And if this thing closes with a red dot, now it's finally starting to go down. We can take the trade, because it may be finally starting to show us some semblance of a move. Also, I think, I'm not sure, but I don't know why I'm having a hard time moving my. For some reason I'm having a hard time grabbing my screen here. I wanted to see where the lows that looks like the lows of the day were pretty much here, right? We're pretty much at the lows of the day. So let's see what that's doing. So 50 seconds left on this. Now it looks like it's kind of just, it tested the lows. This is a kind of trade I definitely want to stay away from. It tested the lows, did not close on the lows. They just bought this. I'm going to be perfectly happy to pass this one up, right? Pass this one up. Even though this, for example, well, I won't even have to pass this one up because the red dot disappears, right? See how we tested the lows and popped up? This is just telling us we are range trading and the dealers are buying the lows, selling the highs. There's no direction. There's absolutely no volume here to push prices one way or the other. Best thing to do is to stand down because there's no trend, right? Nothing is going on here. But look how cool it is in terms of showing us and sharing all the stuff with us. Very, very useful. GFA says ES just had a great signal. Yeah. So let's go to the ES just to see what you mean. I'm not sure that was a good signal. It was still a little bit red here. I didn't have the full signal. I mean, you would have been lucky in this trade in a sense that you would have gotten short here and it dipped really, really sharp, but it wasn't a great signal because it was still red. It was still green here. So not a trade I would have taken with a new indicator. Just because the trade worked doesn't mean it was a great signal, and just because the trade doesn't work didn't mean it was a bad signal. But yeah, it's kind of cool. I was trading ES earlier today very nicely. There's lots of clean trades here, lots of clean trades here. You see, when the trades are clean, they just bank themselves. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to justify them. You don't have to force them. You have to do anything. Today, not much going on here. But this is a great example. Again, great example of the indicator keeping us out of dumbass trades in a super, what is this? This is the single most toxic environment for our trading strategy, right? This is literally range with no continuity. It's just hurry up and die, 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 hurry up and die. And having the slope, that last final mechanism to tell you what to do, keeps you out of so many bad trades, so useful, so valuable. And you combine that with the Apex, with the Wealth Charts trade copier thing, and it's just, it's truly, truly amazing. It's just try to make it as easy as possible for you guys to make winning trades so you can get funded accounts. That's really what we're trying to do. That's the whole mission here. Make it as easy as possible for you to make winning trades so you can get funded accounts. That sounds like should be my LinkedIn motto. Our mission at BK Traders is to make it as easy as possible for you to make winning trades so you too can get funded accounts and move on to become a truly funded prop trader. Oh my God. So Doc, I feel you, my friend. I feel you because I am your spirit animal. I love trading counter trend. And I don't want to change you, but as Rob Hoffman, who is the owner of Wealth Charts and really, truly one of the world's most winning traders. He's won more competitions than Carlos Alcaraz at this point in trading, has just bitch slapped into me the notion that if you want to make winning trades, you want to be on the side of trend. And it's true. It's really true. The easiest way to make money is to be on the side of trend. It doesn't mean you can't make money counter trend. It's a lot of hard work. That having been said, because this indicator can trade both trend and counter trend, you can use it whichever way you like. I specifically obviously designed it to trade both because I'm an inveterate counter trend trader. But what I'm trying to tell you is, if it does. A lot of people don't want to make their life easy. I don't like to make my life too easy. I always want a challenge, right? So for those of you who are new, if you want to make your life easy, if you want to make easy winning trades, it's much easier to trade with trend and counter trend. Speaking of which, although possibly not quite setting up right now, but let's take a look at the. I'm going to show you on TradingView right now so you guys can see the full visualization of this. Where are we? Here's on NQ. We're on Q. Here's on NQ. Negative trend. The short term is below the long term. The short term slope is negative, and all we need is a red dot. I don't have a red dot though. If I get a red dot, that is a short. It's a classic short trend trade, right? But I don't have a red dot. So again, you got to have all the components to have your trade. I got a minute 2 left. If I get a red dot, all of these things line up for a trade for us, right? But so far we don't have it. I love that quote, Rick. I love that quote. I actually used that quote in one of the books that we wrote. I forgot which book it was that we. I forgot, maybe it was the. Millionaire Traders. I forgot which book it was, but I used that quote. I love that quote. Exactly. Be like butterfly. Nah, I don't think so, GFAS, because that's pretty much the final, the final thing that I've done. You don't need it because it's right then and there. You see it. You'll see it in the sequence. I don't want to overcomplicate the tool. Do you guys? Let me do a little poll here. Let's do a little poll because we haven't done a poll in like. Do you like the coloring of 8 SMA? I don't know how to put this any other way, but you guys get the idea. Meaning that that the that this SMA gets colored blue or green or red depending on the slope of this thing. Do you guys like that little additional function? Let me know. Damn well better like it. I love it. I mean, it made a huge change in how you trade. All right, guys, go out there, get some apexes. I want to make sure that you get them before the. As I said to you, if you get the apexes and you get the coaching, right? So let me or the sequence should be go get the coaching right now, today, and then I'll give you credit. You can go buy apexes before the deal expires. Or if you don't need the coaching, just go out there and get apexes. Oh, I'm watching your possible setup here. This may be the last trade of the day for us. 33 seconds. I need a red dot. I need a red dot to make this a trade, right? Because if we look over here, see this? I have a red dot that's got to stay on there for me. Man, what's going on over here? My nope, not really happening. Now, I don't think we have any more trades today. There'll be more trades as the day goes by, but I got meetings, so I'm gonna have to leave you guys. The most important thing I really want to show you was incredible additional change in the indicator to make it that much easier for you to trade. I wanted to show you the trade copier. We'll show that again, tomorrow. And I want to make sure that you guys are all aware of the Apex stuff, so that you guys lock in those savings before we go ahead, right? So Miguel, thank you. Miguel is one of my oldest and best buddies. He's been trading with me forever. Miguel, how many accounts have you had funded? Is it more than 10? Is it even more than 20? I think Miguel's got like more than 20 accounts funded. He has just been he doesn't talk much, but he's a beast. How many accounts have you had? Like if you were to count all throughout the history of funding with Apex, how many accounts did you get funded? Because I know he was just munching at those accounts for a lot of time. Everybody loves the colored EA. That's great. So 12. He's gotten 12 accounts funded, and I guarantee you he could do 6 more in Apex with this in a month if he wanted to. I think the thing at this point is like when people get so many accounts funded, they stop. They really focus on getting the payouts. They stop even bothering running funded accounts. So that's what I want to show you is people who've been with us, who trade well, who kind of absorb the strategy and then make it their own, really have a great chance of succeeding in prop trading. And that's really what it's all about. That's what I want to do and help you guys. All right, my friends, I got to run. I'm still waiting for the red dots. Maybe, here's a red dot. Maybe this is going to be a trade that works for us, but I got to go. So I'm not taking it right now. I will see everybody tomorrow, regular time, 9:30. And we're going to put all of this back into play for us. All right, everybody enjoy. Thank you so much, guys. Everybody have a wonderful day. Take care.